Here's a rosebud in June, and the violets in full bloom, and the small birds are singing love songs on each spray. We will pipe and we'll sing love, we'll dance in our ring, love, when each lad takes his lass, all on the green grass. This was recorded in June 2024. I'm recording that now, but what follows was recorded back 4 years ago. Oh my god, where did that go? In June 2020. So here we go. Just feel free to listen in. Hope you enjoy it. It's a bit jumbled. I've edited most of it, but a lot of it's maybe, a load of crap, basically, but yeah. Oh, it's been ages since I last recorded a podcast, or did any recordings. I had June off, so there's a couple of songs this episode that are from June. Here's a Rosebud in June, one of my favourite songs. It's nearly the end of July now. We're coming up to Lammas, 1st of August. It's like a harvest type festival. Comes from the word loafmas, Anglo-Saxon. So we've had the solstice, and you can definitely tell now that the nights are drawing in already. There's that slight chill in the air that reminds you that autumn's on the way. Makes me feel really sad, actually. Summer's not even really started and it feels like it's coming to an end. Anyway, it's all good. Don't tend to leave the village much lately. I don't tend to leave the village much lately because the world's gone mad and I just don't want to be a part of it, I'm afraid. I had a really nice surprise the other week. I got a parcel in the post. A friend had done me a load of CDs. It was an album of a collection of my folk songs that that we recorded last year. So that was brilliant. Thanks, Cookie. It was really kind of you. There's 18 songs on there. I think Rosebud in June is on there actually. So here it is anyway. Now I went to Minster it was in June, and recorded that song there in the Rose Garden, in the Bishop's Palace Garden actually. You can see that on my YouTube channel, Eat, Bake, Sing. And here's a little bit that I recorded at Minster actually, so have a listen. And I haven't been back since, but I hope to go soon because sometimes you just need that stillness, don't you? I mean, I can find it here, I can find it at home, but sometimes you just need to go to somewhere else, really. Oh, this is really disappointing. I've just driven to Minster. I did check on the website before I came, and I'm sure it said it was open, but just limited hours. I just came for a nice wander round. I just love old buildings, especially Minster. I'm just stood at the gate, and there's a sign. It's now closed. What a shame. It's hard to believe that. I'd say about, 6 years ago, I was stood in this exact spot, and it was absolutely full of Morris dancers, clog dancers, and various other assorted folk dancers. And we came to dance the Gate to Southall. It's traditionally held every June, and loads and loads of folk dancers would dance all the way from Slab Square in Nottingham, or Market Square if you're not from Notts, all the way through the villages and dance their way to Southall. And there they take part in like a traditional ceremony to do with something to do with paying the Southall Minster for something. Anyway, I shall find out the proper details when I get home. I'm literally so disappointed, I can't tell you. It's just so hot today, and I didn't want to just sit in the garden and be boiling. So I thought I'd come here, make the most of the weather, and then get cool inside the building. I came here the last time was on Christmas Eve. Now, I'm not particularly religious at all, more spiritual, but I decided to come on Christmas Eve to the carols by candlelight, and it was the most beautiful thing. Oh, it was just wonderful. I arrived just as they were starting and had to sit right at the back, so I did get an amazing view, and everyone had candles and we sung carols, and then the choir started singing, and it was just like angels. It was beautiful. Yes, well, I was going to go and look at the leaves of Southall. There's some beautiful ornate carvings of leaves. They looked like ivy leaves, actually. It looks like from the sign that they're actually being restored. It says here, the leaves of Southall are hugely significant as part of our artistic heritage, but also have so much to teach us about the need to treasure the natural world. So they've had 1.9 million National Lottery Heritage Fund grant. Wow, that's amazing. They're 13th century carvings. Yeah, they're 13th century carvings, and it says they are amongst the finest in Europe and have long been a source of inspiration to artists and writers. Oh, we have the remnants of coltsfoot here. Coltsfoot is a plant that you usually see, well, obviously in the spring first. You get yellow flowers in the spring, and they come up before the leaves. The leaves are all that's left now. The flowers are long gone. The leaves are once again a little bit like burdock, same kind of size and shape. Sorry, not size, same kind of shape as burdock and butterbur that I mentioned in the last podcast. If you turn them over, they're really powdery and white underneath. And coltsfoot was a remedy. I think they used to get coltsfoot rock. You know, in the olden days they used to have, I think it was for coughs and cold, or I think it was a remedy in the olden days for coughs and colds. You could get something called coltsfoot rock. But the flower is one of the first ones that you see in the spring. It's like a little daisy-like, dandelion-like flower with a really weird stem. Coltsfoot, Tussilago farfara. There's not a deal else here, actually. I thought it would be like wildflower meadow. I don't really have time to go further afield today, so I'm going to go back to the Minster. And then next to this, there's a sign for Potwell Dyke grasslands. says it's a small remnant of the medieval Archbishop of York's deer park and hunting ground. It's 4.2 acres of unimproved flower-rich meadow. Oh, they've got cowslips, orchids and all sorts of other flowers. Oh, I'm going to have to go and have a look at that. Orchids. I have to say, it's a bit naughty of me, but I think orchids are a bit overrated. I've seen orchids around where I live. They are beautiful, don't get me wrong. When you first see one, it's really exciting. A favourite of mine is the bee orchid, which actually looks like a bee. I'll have to go and see if I can find one. So I've just been in a beautiful garden. It's the ruins of the Archbishop's Palace. It says here that prominent figures such as Cardinal Wolsey, 1473 to 1530, and King Charles I spent their last hours of freedom here at Southwell before being summoned back to London to face trial. This looks an interesting tree. Oh, I'm pretty sure I know what this is. I think this is a mulberry tree. Oh, I feel sure it is. Mulberry, like you get white mulberry and you get black mulberry. Yeah, that's definitely mulberry. Ooh, how exciting. You never really see these unless you go in some nice gardens. I know they've got one at Elveston Castle. They've got little weird flowers hanging down, almost like pussy willow-ish. I wonder if this will have mulberries on. So it's a Morris. It's mulberry. Now I know that one of the mulberries is for the silkworm. I shall have to look up when I get home. I'll get a picture of this so you can see it, because it's hard to describe it. The leaves are a little bit like lime tree more serrated, and they're grouped differently on the stem. It's really rather beautiful. It's really old. It's been propped up by some extra bits of wood, looks like, and it must be about 6 feet in diameter on the trunk. Oh, I've just found some fennel. Actually, I say that like I stumbled upon it. It's a regular fennel that I always go to. This plant is 4 feet high. It grows not far from where I live, and me and the kids always come and pick it and chew on it. In fact, I'm going to collect some bits to put in my salad for tea, so that'll be really nice. We call it nature's toothbrush, because if you pick a stem, you can kind of clean your teeth with it, really. Luckily, it's grown so high now that we don't have to be scared of picking it for dog pee. Funiculum vulgare. It's very closely related to the fennel that you get, the bulb fennel. I'm not actually sure what the difference is, but it's basically the same, I reckon. But this one, you just pick it for the leaves. It's really nice, really strong as well. I'd say I was in a melancholy kind of mood this evening. I don't know whether that's because of what's happening. No, it's not true. It just is. It seems okay to talk about this kind of stuff now because everyone's isolated and depressed. To be honest, I think a lot of us felt like this before anyway. So it just goes in cycles. I think it can be food related sometimes if we're not looking after ourselves properly. I think when I'm hungry or I'm tired, I get I get a bit mardy. If you're not from Nottingham, that's a good word. It means it's kind of like moody, but it's not. It's mardy's Well, if anyone can help me explain Mardy, it's not quite moody, it's just moany. Yeah, moany. It's like moaning. But I know that's not the same as feeling melancholy. It's windy as well. It's quite nice to be out. The sun's setting and it's freezing. It's June and it's really cold. Maybe it's time for a reflective song. Through bushes and through briars, I lately made my way, all for to hear the small birds sing, and the lambs to skip and play. All for to hear the small birds sing, and the lambs to skip and play. I overheard my own true love, his voice did sound so clear. Long time I have been waiting for the coming of my dear. Long time I have been waiting for the coming of my dear. Sometimes I am uneasy and troubled in my mind. Sometimes I think I will go to my love and tell him of my mind. Sometimes I think I will go to my love and tell him of my mind. And if I do go to my love he will say nay. If I show to him my boldness, he will never see me again. If I show to him my boldness, he will never see me again. Through bushes and through briars, I lately made my way, all for to hear the small birds sing, and the lambs to skip and play. All for to hear the small birds sing, and the lambs to skip and play. What a contrast from yesterday. It's absolutely freezing. Had a lovely trip out yesterday to Southall, or Southwell, however you want to call it. But it's just so cold now. Where I live, it's not too far from the ancestral home of the poet. It's not far from the ancestral home of the poet Lord Byron. He used to suffer from melancholy, and if you go to the Abbey, to Newstead Abbey, you can almost feel it when you go inside. You can go on a tour of the house. When you walk round, I don't know, maybe it was just me, but at the end, and you get to the end of the tour, and you just feel really, it's really, the energy is really quite sad. I've just remembered. Sounds a bit weird, but I don't care. I often connect to... Come here. Stay there. Good boy. I often connect to the plant spirits. So the elderflower, to me, she is like a beautiful golden shining queen. Lucius, come here. Come on. She's like a beautiful golden queen with a golden crown. Yeah, I can see her now by this elder tree. This particular one, it's about 20 foot high. It's huge. And there's some smaller ones. But yeah, oh, that's great. Plant spirits can help us. If any of you have used the batch flower remedies, there's 38 remedies that are made from the kind of the essence of the plant, almost like plant spirits. I think they're plant spirits. Or what they do, they take the flower and they leave it in water, I believe, for so long, and then they preserve that in alcohol, like brandy. And each remedy, each flower is for a different emotion, so it treats your emotions rather than your physical symptoms. Elder isn't a batch flower remedy. I used to take horse chestnut or white chestnut. Yeah, white chestnut batch flower remedy is for when you cannot sleep at night because your mind's racing. Luckily I don't suffer with that now, but my son sometimes does, so I just give him a couple of drops. It just stops your mind racing. I don't know how it works. Come on, let's go down to him.
Okay.
That was worth coming, wasn't it? Really, it was worth waiting for. Well, it's a little misty. It's quite.
I'm so cosy in my bed. You took me out. Look at you. You're laughing at me. Only my dog appreciates me.
Sorry about that, Poppy. I think it was worth it. Is it? Oh yeah, it is. No, it was well worth it actually. We come here a lot, don't we, to see the moon? Oh look, there's tons. I come a lot more than you lot, though.
I just called the moon Dodday.
There's loads of. There are loads of yellow rattle flowers. Oh, never mind. Look at it. Oh, this is a good spot. That is. Let me see. Yeah, that's yellow rattle. Now, they've only just really flowered. Can you see the flower? There's not many. Oh, here, we've got find one that's kind of finished flowering, that's gone to seed. Here, look, now rattle it. Don't pick it, though. But look, just tap that. Rattles. And look, there's an orchid there. Kind of rattles. You see this flower? This is called yellow rattle. And that one. Here, tap that. It does rattle. It's the seeds. There's loads. Look, they're everywhere. Beautiful.
They smell like poo. Just like you. Smell like poo.
Trying to be sensible and... Yeah, my daughter's just reminded me that at the full moon we always talk about the Lunar Society. The Lunar Society was started by Erasmus Darwin and some other people. Erasmus Darwin was Charles Darwin's grandfather. He was what you call a polymath. He was interested in a lot of different things. He was actually a doctor where he lived in Lichfield. And he was into astronomy. He was an inventor and a scientist and an engineer, I believe. You can actually visit his house in Lichfield next to the cathedral. I think it's a cathedral church. And it's really interesting. It's a really interesting museum. He was really into plants as well. He was a botanist, that's right. So every month they used to meet at the full moon and they called it the Lunar Society. And the reason they met at the full moon is because in those days it was easier for travelling home at night. Just talking about the Lunar Society, Poppy.
Okay.
What can you tell me about the Lunar Society? What do you remember?
Well, I actually call it The Lunatic Society.
Oh. Did you know where the word lunatic comes from?
Yes. You.
You're so cheeky. You got your cheeky head on. No, lunatic comes from Luna. Because they say that the full moon can have an effect on people and can make you go a little bit crazy.
Yeah, like you.
Thanks, Poppy.
I love you.
Look, there's a proper fire over there.
Wow, it better not be out.
I was just thinking that.
Look at those two. Chilling.
Lunar Society. Right, we need to go home and have a full moon party now, don't we?
No, please don't blast the music.
No, I'm just going to have our full moon party is just us staying up all night. I was up all night last night as well. Right.
I'll probably go to sleep way before you do.
Oh, that's okay.
I'm naked.
Come to the woods to just sit and be. It's very overcast today. It feels heavy, but it feels warm and safe in the woods. It's only 8:30 and it's not dark, but in the woods it's really dark already. The beech leaves create quite a thick covering, so it feels warm and it's lovely. I've come out with my dog and I wanted to bring a special book with me that I've stumbled upon lately by pure chance. Well, I don't think anything is chance. Call it, is it synchronicity or serendipity? And the book is called The Story of Hope. A Journey from Despair to Freedom. It's about, well, I'll read from the back. It's about an unlikely hero called Hope. Trapped in her attic room, she feels forgotten by the world. She embarks on a journey of self-discovery protected by a beautiful cloak. The author was inspired to write the book after having undergone a dark, painful journey through despair to freedom. She ran a programme to help young people become leaders by addressing their own mental health issues. She encouraged them to take up a new mantle that made managing depression a positive part of their evolving story. This book guides those in despair from what feels like a grey, empty existence to a place of colour and confidence, the life they were meant to lead. And the pictures are so beautiful, it's like a fairy story. It starts off quite grey and dark and it ends up all beautiful colours. So I'm just going to have a little sit and a read. A lot of the pictures are in woods very similar to the ones where I'm sat now, beech trees. Oh yeah, and I have a cloak just like the girl in the story. I have the exact same cloak, which is really weird. I read something this morning that so deeply moved me. It was beautiful. It was about flowers. And it just made me stare at a honeysuckle. And I felt it. I'll read it when I get back. It's really dark and gloomy today. Well, this evening. It's chucking it down. And the woods, so it's darker than normal. I think it calls for a gloomy song, a gloomy tale of about a night. It calls for a gloomy song, a gloomy tale about two Twa Corbies, which means two crows or ravens. They are deciding what they're going to eat, and they hear of a new slain knight. They're going to go and eat him. Basically, pick at his bones. As I was walking o'er the main, I spied Twa Corbies macking the main. The tane unto the tither did say, oh, where shall we gang and dine today? Oh, where shall we gang and dine today? In behind yon old fell dyke, I know there lies a new slain knight. Nobody kens that he lies there, oh, but his hawk and his hound and his lady fair, oh, his hawk and his hound and his lady fair. His hound is to the hunting game, his hawk to fetch the wildfowl hame. His lady's ta'en another mate, oh, so when me mak our dinner sweet, oh, so when me mak our dinner sweet. You'll light upon his white house bane, and I'll pick out his bonny blue ane, with many a lock o'er his yellow hair, oh. We'll think on it where it grows bare, oh, we'll think on it where it grows bare. And many a one for him makes main, but none shall ken where he is gane, or his white bones when they are bare, oh. The wind shall blaw for evermore, oh, the wind shall blaw for evermore. As I was walking o'er the main, I spied Twa Corbies macking the main. The tane unto the tither did say, oh, where shall we gang and dine today, oh, where shall we gang and dine today? Right, I'm right into the woods now. There is a lot of, what's it called, wood avens growing. Another word for this plant is Herb Bennet. It's related to Herb Robert, which you may know. That's the little, how do you describe it? Herb Robert is a little plant that often grows on driveways. It's a little pink flower. It's got a really pungent, strong smell, and the stems are quite purpley. But this one is called Herb Bennet, or wood avens. And it's got little yellow flowers, almost a little bit buttercup-like. But at the moment, it's finished flowering, and all that's left are the kind of the seed heads, which, if you look closely, they're purpley pink, and they're covered with tiny little, what do you call them, like burrs, a bit like on a burdock, like tiny little hooks. That's what I wanted to say. So that's wood avens. I've actually never been to this part of the wood. I'm trying to just stay dry, really. The rowan's finished flowering. What else have we got? A sycamore. Oh no, that's a field maple. Or is it a sycamore? Ooh. I don't know. Very similar. Hazel trees. I was actually on a really interesting Zoom call earlier. It was a talk with a historian from America. He's a food historian, and he was talking about bread. And apparently, a lot of cultures said that they weren't really cultured until they had started using cereals or wheat for bread. And before that, the staple flour for a kind of bread was from acorns or hazelnuts, but mainly acorns. But this historian on the talk today, he disputed that and said actually, if you look into it, there are still cultures making acorn bread. One of them was the Native Americans. They were found to be making quite a recent acorn bread. And the other one, what was the other one now? I shall have to have a look, but it's interesting. I quite fancy doing it myself. Apparently you have to grind the acorns till they're really fine. Oh, we've got wild strawberries here. Right. I shall put that in my memory bank of plants to come back to. Oh, look. Obviously you can't look. But I've seen baby strawberries. Oh, nice. They'll be ready in a month or so. Whenever I'm looking for plants, they seem to go into a part of my brain that is like, I don't know if it's something from ancient times, if it's just my weird brain. I'd never forget where I've seen a plant. Especially if it's your local area and you're always going to the same places, it's really good to just make a note of what you've seen and where, so you can come back and harvest or just follow a plant through the year. Oh, well, this is brilliant. I've just found a load of Alchemilla mollis. The English or the common name for Alchemilla mollis is lady's mantle, and there's a patch near where I live. It's absolutely huge. It's covered. It can be a garden plant as well, like an ornamental, but I think this is just it is growing wild. I don't know how it got here, but it's absolutely covered. It's the best time to see it because it's raining, or first thing in the morning it gets covered in the morning dew, but when it's raining it's absolutely covered in raindrops and it looks beautiful. They look like little crystals. Even though there's no sun, it's getting dark now, but they're still shining. Huge massive crystals. Now it's called Alchemilla because in the olden days the alchemists thought that this water that gathers on the leaves, the raindrops or the dewdrops, they used that for alchemy. They thought it had magical powers. It's also called lady's mantle because it's a woman's herb. It's just beautiful. That's the sound of a little blackbird who's nestled in the rocks underneath the castle in Nottingham, right next to the trip to Jerusalem. I've come in to have a look what town is like today, and it's just weird, and I'm not coming again now. Nature's gone wild, but round by the castle there's a plant growing called Alexander's, and I've noticed this quite a number of years. It grows all around the underneath of the rock face near to the trip to Jerusalem. If you're not from Nottingham, the trip to Jerusalem is the oldest pub in England. It dates back to 1189. It's my local pub and I can't go in. I'm really upset. Anyway, Alexander's, you usually get it at the seaside, by the sea. The Romans brought it here, I believe. it is edible, and there's loads here. It's all gone to seed. So I'll have to come back when there's some seeds ready and perhaps see if I can grow some. I'm not really sure. I'm sure that would work actually. Right, that Vascanthaspis, Greater Mullein. The plant is around 3 foot tall. The leaves are very, very soft. It's a bit like lamb's ears if you're a gardener. And it's got a spike of beautiful yellow flowers just about to come out. I think it's a remedy for coughs. I'll get some pictures of these plants anyway. I'm sat here next to my favourite pub, the Old Trip to Jerusalem, oldest pub in England. It's nearly time to go home. It's very strange being in Nottingham on a Saturday morning and it's just nobody around. The sun's come out now, so I should be glad to get back to the village. Just enjoying a coffee in the sun and looking at the plants, how they've all overgrown, and just looking at the fig tree as well. There is a really old fig tree. I don't know how old it is, but the trunk is about 1 foot in diameter. It's really gnarled and oh wow, look at that. It's got like some kind of weird growth on it. I don't know what that is. I wonder if there's any figs ever on it. It really likes being here, right next to the rock face. The only other place I've seen a fig in England before is by down by a canal. Again, close to a brick wall in a really sunny position. So it seems to like it here. Just going to have a look at the pub. It's all boarded up. Oh, they've got a new sign about Lord Byron. What does it say? Considered by many to be the greatest poet of his time, he was infamous for his free-thinking views and libertine lifestyle. Oh, and then there's a quote from Byron. I love this. It says, "Man, being reasonable, must get drunk. The best of life is but intoxication." Oh, I don't know if I can condone that. Oh, that's not. Oh, it is boarded up, but you can still get into the little garden bit. Poor old Trip. I've spent many a day in there when I was a kid, with my kids as well, with my dad.
I found a pink. What's it called?
Oh, a pink slug. What is that? Oh, it's a snail shell.
This one.
Right.
Charlie, this is my biggest snail.
Okay, what are these trees?
Nobody knows.
These are weird.
Even.
I have to know what they are.
Bush, but they're still growing.
No, they look a bit ash-like, don't they? Look. Can you? Ow, Charlie, on my toe.
I'm sorry.
You hate me.
You okay?
You hate me.
I was going to attack you back.
No, seriously. This is weird. What are they?
I don't know. Could be a tree.
Do you think the walnut trees?
Maybe.
Oh, this is really weird. No, I think we should go back up
No,
because.
I want to go see that thing.
What thing?
Those two trees.
Which
Where it
two?
goes in. Right over there. Oh, come on.
Well, can I wait here? I haven't got the right shoes on.
You've got some.
All right. Right. Okay. How about this then? Because we're so high up.
Yes.
Right. They could be ash trees that have just grown weird because they're so high.
Yeah. How far we are?
I think they are. Look at those. They're definitely ash. But there's some kind of weird, really tall ash. They're ash. Yeah, no, you're right. They had black buds, didn't they, on those little cuttings? Okay.
What's all this plant?
Problem solved. Oh, this. It actually looks like hemlock to me.
Is it edible?
No, it definitely is not.
Is it that
Right, can you
stuff?
tell? How can you tell poison hemlock or hemlock? Can you remember?
They've got this flower.
No, something on the stem. What is it on the stem?
They've got stripes.
They've got marks. Can you see like rusty marks on the stems there? So that's, yeah, this is all hemlock. So you do not want... No, I wouldn't. Just don't. Yeah, definitely hemlock. Looks a bit similar to fennel, doesn't it? Can you tell? You would know the difference, wouldn't you, Charlie?
What's that noise?
It's probably
A person.
a ghost.
Yeah, probably. We're behind you. Charlie behind you.
Yeah, that's definitely... I'm going to get a picture of these. So it's the summer solstice, and I recently found out about this place. A friend told me about it. It's called Silver Hill Wood. It's the highest point in Nottinghamshire, apparently, where you can see 5 counties on a good day. It's a little tiny bit disappointing because we thought we were climbing a mountain. Well, my kids thought we were climbing a mountain, but it's a hill anyway. And at the top, there's an amazing statue of a miner. And we've got here, and there's some kind of druids. Or some, they're like, they've got the mead and the mead horn. I've actually been to pick up mead myself. My own little thing.
Right in your mouth and your ears.
I think they're all waiting for the sunset, which we can't even see anyway because it's a bit cloudy. Seems to be quite a few people gathered and some incense burning, which is nice to see. Yes. No, we're going this way and then we're going to get back on the path.
Oh, but after this, are we going to go home?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, we went then.
I do.
Well, when the sun goes down, something might happen.
Like what?
Well, it might be, you know. Oh, yeah, it is. It's the eclipse. Oh, actually, no, we can't see it. It's a solar eclipse.
What's that mean?
The sun.
But why can't we see?
Because the sun's going down. I think it's somewhere else in the world. But it's also new moon tonight, which you won't be able to see either because you can't see a new moon.
Mummy, watch this. Are you a bit salty?
What?
I killed you in a day.
Oh, right. It's good, isn't it? But I've never seen ash trees grow like that before.
I've never seen this many slugs.
No, I've never seen this many slugs either. I just literally, I don't know. I've never seen so many in my life. And I don't have the right shoes on either.
I do.
Well, I've got the flipping flip-flops on. So I didn't know. Can we go back up the steps? I'm going to go back up there. I want to see what they're doing. I might get a drink of mead. No, they've got cheap Morrison's mead. I've got my special mead, my friend. Apothecary mead. That's where we went today to go and pick it up. Essential journey.
Because I'm special.
No, children can't drink alcohol. Because you're not old enough. Oh, okay, let's go. I've just seen something I want to have a look at. Right.
You've lost an ankle. Come on, man.
Come on, let's go see what's up here.
Your legs.
You lot go ahead.
Alright. I'm going up here.
Look, do you know what this is, everyone? What's this plant? Look. This is
Colt sauce.
colt's foot. Colt's foot, you were close. Colt's foot. So the leaves of the colt's foot are still showing. That was a very early spring plant. You get the the flowers up before the leaves. Oh God, I'm out of breath climbing up this hill. Actually, it's quite nice up here. Oh, what's that?
Look at it.
Oh, okay.
Where?
Now then, this is a very mini, looks like a broom. No, not a broom, a gorse. Or, hang on a minute, no, I am mistaken. Now this, what's this then? Where? Oh! Is it a bird of prey?
Probably. Mummy, what?
It is, isn't it?
No, not like that.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Oh, this is good. Then you're getting a good view from up here. They're doing a little ceremony, aren't they?
Idiot.
No, don't be horrible. We do ours. Don't be so mean.
They've got the stupid.
No, don't. Okay. Don't. What?
More cookies there.
Is that a raven? Now, what I no, I wouldn't. It's eggs. It's aphid eggs.
I thought it was actually cuckoo spit.
I know, I did.
I've
Yeah.
licked it before.
No, it's like beetle's eggs, isn't it? Right. Oh, there's an orchid. Let's go and look at this orchid. Orchids are overrated, just like this hill. I have to say. Sorry if anybody's from here.
No wonder I don't gain any chubbiness.
Yeah.
It's alright if you look after this with me.
Yes,
no,
I
look
can.
after you soon. I really want to sit down my legs.
Well, let's go back up there and have a view. We'll sit here. I don't mind. But let's sit here. That looks like pig nut.
I'm going up back.
Okay, that's definitely pig nut. I've never ever dug out a pig nut. My nana used to tell me about pig nuts. Oh, I wonder if it is a pig nut.
Let's go here.
Oh, I would love someone to show me a pig nut and dig one out with me because. Have you found? Hang on, I've got to look at this mushroom first. Oh yeah, tiny little mushroom.
What are those? What are those?
Are they puffballs or roots?
Mummy,
Oh, they're weird. What's that?
please
Oops.
look, Mummy.
I think it's the beginning of a
Mummy.
puffball.
What are those?
Although,
What
is it the right time for puffballs? Right, Rose found an orchid. There's sea buckthorn growing everywhere here. Ooh, let's have a look. It might be clover. Oh no, that's an orchid, yeah. Yeah, it's just a common orchid. Do you remember this plant? With the orange berries?
I don't know. Oh yeah.
Yeah, sea buckthorn. I think it must.
Remember
It's
when
usually
we
a.
went with David to that place where we were picking those?
Oh, bilberries. Oh my
bilberries.
god, I love that so much. I don't think there's any up here. No, sea buckthorn is usually a coastal plant, but it seems to like old coalfields because we've got it all near us. In a little mining village, and there's just absolutely tons here. And the berries in the autumn, very good for you, full of vitamin C, and they're very, very, very sour. And sea buckthorn's got a lot of thorns on, it's lethal. Oh, I'll describe it. It's. I'll take a picture, easier. It's Midsummer Eve. 21st, no, 24th of June. So we have the solstice on the 20th or the 21st or 22nd usually, and then there's a little bit of confusion because we also have what's called Midsummer. Midsummer's Day is the 25th of June. It's also my mum's birthday. And traditionally in Scandinavia, and I think they still do it today, they make a really big deal of midsummer. It's really traditional. Have midsummer fires. And yeah, it's like a follow-on from the solstice really. So I'm out collecting wood. My fire. Been having them a lot lately. It's nearly dark. So, hurrying up. Not that much though. This is the time when fairies are around more than normal, if you're into fairies. If you know about plants, St. John's wort is a herb or a flower or plants you traditionally collect Midsummer's Day. I think it's called St. John's Day as well, in the Christian calendar, but it is a pagan thing, really. Yeah, St. John's wort. You probably know this plant, it's quite popular. It's used for the treatment of depression. It's a really beautiful flower. There's some bigger versions that you get in the garden too, called tutsum, which is also in the same genus, Hypericum. Hypericum perforatum is St. John's wort. And I'll post a picture in the blog anyway, so you can know, but it's a little yellow flower. And it's got a slightly red tinge on the buds before they open. And a good way of identifying it is to hold the leaves up to the sky. They are perforated, hence perforatum. Hypericum perforatum. It's got tiny little holes. I think there's a bat. Is that a bat? Yeah, it's nearly dark here. It's extra dark because we're in the woods, beech woods. So it feels quite dark even about 7 o'clock. So this is a really magical place. Oh, my dog's gone in all the mud. Come on. Don't do that. Wait. You bugger. I'm trying to think of a song for Midsummer. I don't know any. I'll have a think. Well, I could recite from my most favourite Shakespeare play, Midsummer Night's Dream. I'll tell you why, because last night it was new moon. Well, it was the first crescent of the new moon. And every time I see that little slither of moon, it makes me want to recite Shakespeare. And then the moon, like to a silver bow new bent in heaven, shall behold the night of our solemnities. Go philostrati, stir up the Athenian youth to merriment, awake the pert and nimble spirit of mirth, turn melancholy forth to funerals. The pale companion is not for our pomp. Hippolyta, I woo thee with my sword, and won thy love doing me injuries. But now I shall wed thee in another tree, with pomp, with triumph, and revelry. I'm down by the river and I found one of my favourite plants. It's Yarrow, Achillea millifolum, and every time I see this plant it makes me want to sing. Billy is fair and Billy is rare, Billy is wondrous bonny, and Billy promised to marry me if I marry Annie. And Billy promised to marry me if I marry Annie. Late last night I lay in my bed, thinking on my lover, and there I waited all night long. My heart won't take another, and there I waited all night long. My heart won't take another. Came you by on waterside, past the rose and lily? Oh, came you by yon meadow green? I saw you, my sweet Billy, and came you by yon meadow green? I saw you, my sweet Billy. She sought him east and she sought him west, she sought him broad and narrow, she sought him into another's arms, fairest of all Yarrow. She sought him into another's arms, fairest of all Yarrow, the fairest of all Yarrow. Now obviously this is not actually referring to the plant Yarrow, it's a place I think down south. but I always sing it to the yarrow. It's the most pure white flower that you can find in wild. So white. And it's called Achillea millifolum because it's said that Achilles used it on the battlefield to treat his wounded soldiers. Yarrow is used to staunch bleeding, and millifolum means 1,000 leaves. It's got a lot of little feathery leaves. I had to finish early down there. I just totally got soaking. It suddenly came down. I heard it coming across the forest. It started, just in some trees nearby, and then it gradually worked towards me. It was beautiful. I was waiting for the thunder really, but it didn't come. Anyway, I had a nice little sing. Can you hear that bird? That one. Could anyone please tell me what it is? Is it an owl? Yeah, not a clue. Yeah, if anyone knows, I would love to know, because I hear it most nights from my garden. It's really close. I think it's in someone's big horse chestnut tree. Unless it's their chicken. No, it's not chicken, is it? Weird. Anyway, yeah, please let me know. It was really warm today and I was feeling a bit tired, so I just went and jumped in the local lake. It was lovely. I didn't dither, I just went and dived in, otherwise I would have never done it. Anyway, there's lakes always remind me of swans, and swans always remind me of Vaughn. So it's one of my, the first songs that I learnt from recordings of handbrakes. So Vaughn is a sad song about a girl who, she's out walking in the rain and she puts a cloak around her, and her true love accidentally shoots her, believing that she's a swan, and then her ghost comes back. It's quite a sad song. Come all you young fellows that handle a gun, beware how you shoot when the night's coming on. For young Jimmy met his true love, he mistook her for a swan, and he shot her and killed her by the setting of the sun. Young Polly was walking all in a shower of rain. She sheltered in the green bush, her beauty to save. With her apron thrown over her, he mistook her for a swan, and he shot her and killed her by the setting of the sun. I've just found some mugwort and fennel plants, two of my favourite plants. They grow, well, they're grown near my house, but I always come and see these particular ones, and they've grown so tall lately. They're taller than me, and I'm nearly 6 foot. They're about 7 foot, actually. Oh, the fennel tastes so good. It's nearly gone to seed, so you can eat the fennel seeds. It's Feniculum vulgare, common fennel, and it's very close related to the bulb fennel that you buy in the shops. You can eat the seeds and the feathery leaves. Fennel and mugwort. So mugwort is Artemisia vulgaris. So that's like common Artemisia. Artemisia is named after the Greek goddess Artemis, the moon goddess and the goddess of the hunt. And I'm just looking at the moon now. It's half a moon, so we're nearly. It's just over half. Full moon next week. So these two plants are, or they were, sacred plants. They were sacred to our ancestors, and they are both in the Anglo-Saxon herb charm. So I shall find a book when I get home, and I shall read you a little bit out of that. But yes, the mugwort is beautiful. I love it. Dry it out and burn it like you smudge. You can make smudge sticks out of it, and it's meant to give you prophetic dreams. It smells beautiful. Oh, can you do that for me in a minute? I'm just recording. Right, you ready? Because I can edit our talking now.
I think it's going to be a bit different.
Okay. So we're by a little stream and we're under a willow tree. Me and my boy is trying not to laugh at me. And nature and trees and plants always remind me of songs. So as I'm lying here looking up at the willow tree, reminds me of Wood Street 504 and the Sacred Harp. Harps that when with joy we sung were one that tuneful parts to bear. With silent strings, neglected hung on willow trees that withered there, on willow trees that withered there. When we are weary, limbs to rest, sat down by proud Euphrates stream, we wept with dole, for thoughts oppressed, and Zion was our mournful theme, and Zion was our mournful theme. Our harps that when with joy we sung were want their tuneful parts to bear. With silent strings, neglected hung on willow trees that withered there, on willow trees that withered there. So that's Sacred Harp. It's 4-part harmony. That's why I had to repeat the words a little bit there, because that's a fuguing tune where often one line comes in first before the others. It's usually the bass.